Good afternoon, guys, and happy Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, for not having my planner set up for this week, I totally, not spaced out, but I just never ended up setting it up this week. And every day I was like, oh, I should just do it now, you know, so at least I have like the later part of the week still set up and everything like that. I kept thinking that, and yeah, kept not happening. So for actually not having my planner set up for this week, I told you guys it's normally like my best way of staying organized. I actually was still pretty good. I still ended up pretty much staying on task and was able to get just about most of the stuff done every day that I needed to. Like today, I did laundry. I didn't do it yesterday, but like today I actually really didn't even have enough to run a full load of laundry. I ended up doing it anyway, of warms, just because it'd been several days of not washing any of that stuff, like probably at least a good week. Normally with washing warms, I've noticed I don't have to do it. I actually will do everything all in one color for warms, which I don't know, some people I guess do it like the opposite, like if you're gonna wash it in warm, because I think the colors bleed more apparently. I seriously have never had a problem with colors bleeding in clothing, other than like I guess if it's new clothes, and I never wash reds like from anything. I always separate that. But like if it's like, you know, a bright colored shirt and like a darker colored shirt, I've never noticed them like bleeding, and I've never had a problem with it. But regardless, I throw all that stuff normally in together and wash it. So that's normally like the towels, all of my dad's work shirts, and then I wash my tank tops and normally like my my jean shorts, because I feel like washing them in warms actually helps like sort of shrink them back up a little bit. Any of like my jeans, personally, I like to do them in warms. I don't know how other people feel about them, like having it washed. It's not the setting it's supposed to be washed on, so I don't know. I just always wash mine in that, just because I feel like for me it helps to like sort of, I think the heat shrinks it up a little bit more, and so if I warm them, you know, they'll wind up kind of stretching out a little bit, and then when I go to put them back on, if I wash them in cold, sometimes they're not always like tight again, and so if I wind up washing them in warms, they sometimes are. So that's normally how I do it. But I ended up washing one load of warms with just about enough like laundry. It was kind of a smaller load, but the cool thing is that, you know, with the washer, it pretty much figures out itself how much water to add, so I don't even have to guess. I don't have to be like, oh, this was a big load or a medium load or a small load. It figures that out, and I don't have to I don't have to try and figure it out. I just have to put in, I actually have it, the washing machine is set with the pre-programmed, like for the speed and all that kind of stuff, and then I set it up myself just based on like sort of how I figured our washing machine ends up working. If I do a bigger load, normally if I try and have it spin too fast, sometimes it winds up shaking too much. Although it's really good, like I probably, unless I'm doing bulky bedding, I don't have too much of a problem. So anyways, I have a pre-programmed setting where I just hit that, and then if it's a warm load, I just have to change it to warm, because otherwise my default is always to wash everything on cold. So anyways, I ended up doing one load of laundry today, but I told you guys how yesterday I didn't end up doing any laundry. And then I also ended up actually doing 2 loads of dishes today, because I didn't also, maybe I got to some yesterday or didn't do some one day. But I ended up dirtying a lot yesterday from dinner. I unloaded and loaded up the dishwasher, or maybe I just loaded the dishwasher this morning and ran it, and then I unloaded it in the afternoon when I was actually making myself some dinner, lunch stuff. It was around, maybe it was closer to dinner time, I guess. Around the time I was making that, I ended up, because it was cooking on the stove, so I was like, I'll multitask. That's normally what I do, guys, seriously. Whenever I get up to go and make myself food, I will unload the dishwasher or load it up or whatever, or wash the dishes that are in the sink. Like, that's just sort of like my, like, I don't have to like then be like, okay, I'm gonna plan this allotted amount of time to like, you know, go and do the dishes. I just go and do them normally whenever I'm going to cook myself something, because if not, it's me sort of standing there and like watching it cook, depending on what I'm making, you know, and I'm just kind of standing there like next to the stove, and I'm like, well, what else can I do? Oh, I guess I can do laundry. or dishes, or laundry sometimes too. That's why I do it in the morning. I told you guys how I have my morning routine down to like 20 minutes, which is unload and load up whatever dishes I have, and then, or if I already unloaded it from the night before, just load it up, and then I will also go around. I go to everybody's bedroom and the bathroom and get all of the dirty clothes, go and sort it in the laundry room, and then if I have enough, I will run a full load of laundry. Like I said, today I only have one load, but there wasn't even that much like of dirty laundry that's been left. I feel like too, because Matthew's not here, we've been going through way less clothes. Like I have way less stuff to wash. So I feel like he was a huge contributor to our clothing problem, and the amount of clothing that we had to wash. But like, because like if he'd go to work, he'd go to work in his work clothes, and then he'd come home and have like, you know, his home clothes. And then sometimes too, if he was like doing something and then gonna go with people, then he wind up changing, like, you know, he'd be in his comfy clothes and then he'd wind up changing. And you know, if he was going with like his girlfriend somewhere, or going out or something like that, he wind up changing into, you know, like a different outfit or something like that. So sometimes he could wind up changing his clothes like 3 times a day, or at least twice a day. So you know, I feel like now I'm like, whoa, we have way less clothes that he hasn't been here in, you know, almost 2 weeks. I mean, he came home over the weekend, but other than that, I was like, we don't go through that clothes that often, it seems like. I mean, my dad's probably the only other person that maybe like changes clothes that often, where he has his work clothes that he comes home in and then winds up changing, and then, but like sometimes too, he'll wind up wearing like, he has like workout clothes too. So normally like his workout clothes he'll leave out in the garage. With those ones, I feel like he wears them more than once though, because like, yeah, he sweats and gets gross for like, you know, maybe like a half an hour or something like that. But then like, you know, you just, I don't know. For me too, I kind of feel like the same thing. Like if I was working in the garden and knew I'd be in the garden again the next day, like I'd probably just wind up being like, I don't want to dirty a brand new set of clothes, I'll just wear something else. You know, especially too, if it wasn't like I wasn't dripping sweat, we'll wind up just throwing back on like some old dirty clothes, because like I said, I'll probably be dirty. Or if they're clothes that I wore the day before and I'm like, well, these didn't get all sweaty, like they don't smell, I'll just put them back on and wear them as clothes that I'm gonna go do garden work in or something like that. So you know, or working outside, because guys, I told you guys we were in a heat wave. But tomorrow, I think, from my understanding, is that we're supposed to get like the remnants of the hurricane is supposed to, like, you know, we're supposed to get some of the storm that's gonna blow through tomorrow, is supposed to be that. And like there's been a lot of like talk that like, oh, this is gonna be a really bad storm and stuff like that, like, you know, as bad or possibly worse than what the one was when we lost power. So I'm like, I am hoping that's not true. I'm gonna make sure everything is nice and charged up. My camera battery's charged, my Mac, my, you know, my phone, you know, make sure everybody has all of their, you know, pocket chargers and stuff like that charged too. And the other thing too that we should have, which we have, guys, we have a small generator. It's actually a backup, it's sort of like backup power that I think lasts for either 24 or 48 hours for our Wi-Fi. And I don't know why it hasn't been plugged in for like years now. I don't know why people have not been plugging it in. And it, like I said, is really awesome, because if we ever do lose power, if it flickers, or, you know, we have maybe power out for just a little while, you know, less than, again, about a day or two, we will wind up still having Wi-Fi, so we don't have to use our data when we are still on our phones and stuff like that. So it's good, but it actually makes this really loud beeping noise, and the dog's terrified of it. Bliss has been. We haven't had it plugged in since we've had these two, who are also scared of loud beeping noises. And so the but you can turn the sound off. So I feel like somebody unplugged it thinking like, oh, so it doesn't make the noise anymore, it won't scare the dog. But you could just hit this, turn the switch on, because it beeps like to let you know that it's now using the backup power. And again, you can turn that part of it off. And so I think somebody just unplugged it thinking that it wasn't, you know, it was still gonna make that noise if the power went out, and it doesn't, or it doesn't have to if you have the right setting on. So again, that's something that we have that we should totally be like utilizing, but we're not. So I just know that our area is under, I think, like slight tornado warnings with heavy winds and stuff like that. I don't think that it's super, super bad. I think it's actually more north of us is supposed to be worse, which is kind of weird. Normally it's the opposite. Normally it's more south of us. Like southern Illinois is supposed to be worse. We're closer to Chicago, so normally it's not always that crazy bad as, like, you know, a lot of times the twisters that blow through, you know, like southern Illinois and stuff like that, because it's a lot of like that's where my grandparents, well, they sort of live, I guess, in central-ish Illinois, but it's a lot of, like, you know, farmland and stuff like that out there. So the further that we are to, like, the city, the less, you know, the less, if there is a tornado, the less likelihood of it being a big one too. So anyways, yeah, our risk goes down a little bit more. So that's what I saw. But yeah, like I was telling you guys earlier about me still getting all my stuff done. I still made my grocery list for today. I did dishes, like I said, a bunch of dishes. I did laundry. I also ended up getting to I didn't edit today, guys. That was the only thing I didn't get to. I did upload though, which was good. So I got to that stuff, some things that I needed to on my list. I'm actually really happy though that I did wind up doing my grocery list today and not waiting until the last minute tomorrow. So hopefully I can actually get tomorrow some more editing done, which would be really awesome. So anyways, guys, I think I'm almost caught up too. I'm like within this week, like I was editing a vlog from like maybe Sunday or Monday or something like that, or Saturday maybe even. So I'm like right under being a week behind, and I think I have the vlog scheduled out through till Sunday. So that's why I want to hope and at least get another one done for today, or have another. I want to upload tomorrow so that I can have them done to Monday, because a lot of times I don't get to editing over the weekend, and so that way when I go to then edit on Monday, I will still actually have some that are scheduled out for Monday. So yeah, like I said, I was able to get to some things. Happy about you know, actually not having my planner done. I was still able to get to some stuff that I needed to for today, so that was good. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be happy too, because I think, again, after the storm, I think we're finally supposed to get some cooler weather. Not freezing cold, but like high 70s kind of this week, probably for an average. And that will be really nice. So we'll have somewhat cooler weather, not super hot, but also not cold weather, like I need to go outside and wear a sweatshirt outside kind of weather. I don't think there's any days where it's going to be 60s, but again, high 70s is much better than it being high 90s almost, which it was a few days during this week. It was pretty brutal. So we can finally cool down a little bit, which will be nice. And actually, you know, being for the end of August, we've still had some really hot, nice weather, which it's so weird, guys. This whole summer has been so hot, like consistently too. There haven't been a whole ton of weeks where, like, you know, we'll all of a sudden just have like a 60-degree day. I can honestly maybe remember one week. It was maybe a few weeks ago that happened, and other than that, I think pretty much from like June almost, maybe like July, but definitely July through to August, like I think there's been 1 week that I could say for sure, and maybe even June too. I feel like the beginning of June too, we were probably in like 70s or so, but again, where it was cold enough that I was like, I should probably actually wear, you know, leggings and like, you know, at least a long sleeve shirt or something like that outside, because I was probably been cold otherwise, which is not really common, but is not uncommon too. So like we've had summers like that in the past, and last year too, I felt like we had a super short summer of not having a lot of hot days. This year it feels like there's not been a lot of cool days. It feels like it's just been ridiculously hot, and I know that I say that now, I'm gonna be regretting it when it's winter, because I don't mind it being hot out, but I like that like sort of in between, and I only get scared that we're not getting that in between, because summer's lasting what feels like a really long time. So you know, I still want it to be cool out, I guess, without being super like freezing cold. I don't want it to just skip fall altogether and go right into like, hey, it's snowing like it did last year, and you know, for Halloween where it snowed. You know, so I don't want that, but I want it to still, you know, us to have some 60s and 50-degree days and stuff like that in, you know, September, October and stuff like that, and it not just be like, hey, here's some still 70 and 80-degree days, which I don't mind either, you know, but on and off would be nice. We get some really hot days and then a couple of nice cooler days, but the majority of cooler days. And then winter can just pass on by. I don't mind. I don't like winter. I hate snow. I don't hate it. I like it for the holidays, but other than that, I will stick around until, you know, December. And then by about the first week or so of January, I want to go move to somewhere warm because I can't stand it at that point. Definitely like it being hot out. So yeah, but anyways guys, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.